Today we're going to talk about 5 important turning points in world history that occurred between 1450 and 1750 AD. These 5 turning points are the rise of the Ottoman Empire, the influence of the Ming Dynasty on world trade, European exploration and the Columbian Exchange, a period of European expansion, and the Renaissance and Reformation. As you can see, this was a very busy time in world history, and many of these events had a lot to do with the way that we live today. Let's talk about the rise of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans were a nomadic group of Turkish people. They were growing in power and gaining territory, and in 1453 they captured Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. They renamed this city Istanbul. Suleiman I was the longest reigning sultan of the Ottoman Empire. There were many political and cultural achievements under his leadership. In fact, he accomplished so much that they started calling him Suleiman the Magnificent. Most of the great cities of Islam were captured by the Ottoman Empire during this period. These include Mecca, Medina, and Baghdad. The Ottoman Empire lasted until the end of World War I. Meanwhile, China was ruled by the Ming Dynasty. The Ming Dynasty had thrown out the Mongols and were building a vast empire. The Ming Emperor built a huge fleet and sent them around the world saying, "Tell everyone how great China is and make them respect us." Many people say that there were great treasure ships that went from country to country, giving and receiving gifts. They called these gifts tribute, and they were meant to show respect of one country to another. Unfortunately, after one of these expeditions, the admiral returned, and there was a new emperor in charge. And he said, "Stop the expeditions, we're not going out anymore." And the Chinese fleet rotted in the harbor. They never left again. The next big turning point was a period of European exploration and the Columbian Exchange. Remember the Ottomans? They had captured Constantinople. This cut off the trade route between Europe and East Asia. So Europe had to find another way to reach those spices and silk that everybody had become so accustomed to. As part of this exploration, they sent out a guy named Columbus, who ended up discovering the New World. After his discovery of the New World, there was an exchange of products and ideas, and they called it the Columbian Exchange. Columbus, Columbian. All these products from the New World that they didn't have in Europe started to flow in. Things like tomatoes and chocolate and pineapple, things that Europeans had never seen before. At the same time, products from Europe went to the New World. Horses, pigs, wheat, things that they had never seen in the New World. Unfortunately, the Europeans also brought with them diseases that the people in the New World had never been exposed to. This caused a lot of death and completely decimated or almost totally wiped out the population of the New World. The Europeans also brought the idea of African slavery with them, something that I'm sure we all wish had never happened. All of this caused the power of the European countries to grow steadily, and we saw the rise of powerful nation states in Europe. This began to change the political structure of Europe quite a bit. And because these nations wanted more power, more territory, more people, This leads us to the fourth great turning point in world history, an age of European expansion. They expanded for gold, glory, and God. What does that mean? It means they went out looking for gold treasure to increase the amount of money that they had. They wanted to go for glory, to build themselves up, to say, look how fabulous we are and how huge our territory is. And finally, they went for God, sending missionaries to spread the good news of God and to build churches. The fifth big turning point in world history was the Renaissance and Reformation. The Renaissance means rebirth, and this was like a new birth for Europe. What they did was begin to revive the old classical art forms that they had in Greece and in Rome. So you had a classical Greek and Roman art and literature revival. Art became very important to people, and many more people were interested. You also had the rise of somebody called humanists, people who really like to emphasize the uniqueness and the value and the worth of an individual person. We also saw a more secular society. They began to be more interested in things of the world and things here on this earth, and not so interested in spiritual things. And then finally, as part of this, we witnessed the Reformation, which completely broke up the power of the Catholic Church and also led to the creation of Protestant churches.